So, Michael, you and I were on Bill Maher together, which was a lot of fun.
Yes.
And as you know, the argument that Bill makes and a lot of people make is exactly the opposite of what you just said. The fact that Bernie is not a capitalist to his bones is why he could never win Michigan. He could never win. He's going to get destroyed by Trump. What do you say to that?
Capitalists lose is what I say. Gore lost. Hillary lost. If you're in the center, if you go to the center, if you try to be a moderate, as a Democrat, you will lose because the base sees you as not completely authentic. The base of the Democratic Party is now the majority of the American people. The majority of Americans agree with the Democratic platform from head to toe, whether it's climate change, mass incarceration, minimum wage, equal pay for women, choice, climate change, and the whole thing. The American people, look at any poll, they agree with the Democratic Party platform. They don't agree with the Republicans, and the Republicans know that, and that's why they have to gerrymander and voter suppress, because they now know that they've lost the American people. So the only way they can win is by cheating. And really, I always like to ask them, how do you feel about that? It's the only way, like if we were playing sports or whatever, if I knew the only way I could win was to, deflate the football, say.
What do you mean by that, Michael? What do you mean by that, Michael? Because Donald Trump did win millions of Americans who would traditionally have voted for Democrats.
Yeah,
why do you think that is?
He won.
Yes, he won in the popular. He lost in the popular vote. That's true.
Yeah. He won. He
but
lost.
It's not cheating to win by the Electoral College.
Europeans and others, when they hear us say popular vote, they think we are nuts. What other vote is there? You know what we sound like to Europeans and Australians and Japanese when we say the popular vote? It makes us sound. We should just say that Hillary won the votey vote. She won the votey vote. It's kind of like no, you don't need to be redundant. It's just the vote, right? It's like we have to change this. Gore won.
That's the question.
Gore won. Hillary won. This is ridiculous. Do you think if the other side had won the popular vote, both those elections, that they just would have sat back afterwards and went, well, I guess that's the way the system works. Let's watch SportsCenter. No, they would have been like, right? They would have been relentless and vicious. And they would have changed this. They would have said, this isn't a democracy if the person who wins the election doesn't get the keys to the White House. They would have fought hard for that. That's why I admire conservatives and Republicans, and they have the courage of their convictions. They don't give up. They fight. Our side, it's like, well, we can sort of have half universal health care, right? Let's try and get that through. The most recent example of this is the debate in Houston. Beto O'Rourke on the stage says, we're coming and we're going to take away your AR-15s and your AK-47s. Oh my God, the DNC, the DCCC went ballistic. Immediately, they got Democrat pundits on all the pundit shows to walk back what he said. We're going to lose the election because he said we're going to take away the guns. They're all so afraid, so Democrats went out there to trash Beto O'Rourke for saying that. But if you watch the debate, it is the only moment in the debate where the audience flew out of their chairs in an eruptive standing ovation, because that's what the people want. The reason why the people want it is that 78% of us Americans do not own a gun. 78% of Americans don't own a gun. We are not a nation of gun nuts. In fact, that's the good news. The scary news is that 3% of us own more than half the guns, own over 160 million guns. That's another issue for another day. I'll come back. But I'm just saying that he said it, and once he said it, the Democrats all went like this, and you never see the Republicans do that. They will never.
No. And they say that about us anyway, so you may as well embrace it.
I do want to ask you, Michael, also about.
We need to have some courage, because let me just say, the finish of that story is because he said it. No one had ever said it. No Republican had ever said it, but no Democrat had ever said it, because you're not supposed to say it. He said it, and here's what happened. Within 6 days, the Colt Manufacturing Company, which makes the AR-15, I wasn't at their board meeting. I wasn't there. I'm just going to tell you what happened, though. They saw that and they thought, oh my God, somebody said it. Because it always takes the first person. Somebody had to burn the first draft card. Somebody had to burn the first bra. Some couple some guy and his boyfriend in some town had to start down at the end of the mall at Sears, and because they made the decision, and they're going to walk all the way down to JCPenney's and hold hands, something they've never been allowed to do in their lifetime. And they know that they could get the shit kicked out of them. And they did it. Somebody in that town, and that town, and that town had to be the first to do that. And Beto O'Rourke was the first to say, we're coming for your AR-15s. And within 6 days, Colt Manufacturing announces, we are no longer going to sell the AR-15 to the public. Ended the sales, because they knew if we don't give them this, they're going to come for all the other guns. So let's give them the AR-15. They saw everybody rise in the audience, an audience in Texas. And that's just the start. First it's Beto in Texas, and then it's that person, then it's that state legislature, and then boom, boom, boom. And Colt knows 78% of us aren't gun owners and don't give a crap about the Second Amendment. An amendment, by the way, which was written about 40 to 50 years before the bullet was invented.
Right.
Our founding fathers wrote that before Samuel Colt invented the 6-shooter with bullets.